And these are the questions that I want to pose both to the leadership and the followership in Ambazonia. Question number 1. Have you identified your enemy? And I think that you have. The enemy is a regime that is based in Yaoundé, a regime that is led by Paul Biya, a regime that is energized by France, a regime that does not believe in equality, a regime that does not believe in fairness. That is the enemy that confronts the Ambazonians. Question number 2 that we must pose and answer, having identified our enemy, are we organized against our enemy? And the answer is that there is some form of organization around our struggle. And that organization is that we must confront the enemy with a singular voice and in unanimity. Question number 3. Having organized against our enemy, have we marshaled our resources so that our resources are directed in the direction of ensuring that we achieve our goal? Which brings me to question number 4. Have we identified our goal? Having identified our enemy, having organized ourselves, when we identify our goal, what is our goal? And our goal, if it is liberating our people, which brings me to question number 5. Have we, in the nature of things, recruited our people so that our people are fighting with us in the same direction? As Chairman Mao used to say in 1949, those who are fighting must ensure that they recruit their people, and the people are fighting in the same direction as they are. Are the people with us? Question number 6. Do we speak with one voice, or we have many voices and we are sending confusing and conflicting messages so that the enemy can enter within our ranks and they can divide us? Question number 7. Have we subordinated our personal interests to the larger interest of the people of Ambazonia so that we see ourselves, those of us who happen to be in positions of leadership, do we see ourselves as servants or masters, and our only aim is to replace the beers without changing the equation? Question number 8. How are we using the human resources that we have, whether they are based inside of Ambazonia or outside of Ambazonia? Question number 9. Are we faithful to our people so that we can account for the resources that they give us on a daily basis or from time to time? Question number 10. Have we persuaded the rest of Africa that we have a genuine and a legitimate cause and that we deserve to be supported? In my view, if we are able to answer these questions in the affirmative, then we will be able to move in the direction that will see that the struggle against the Biya regime will be a struggle that will be successful and will be.
That was Professor Limumba. I think he has some very genuine concerns, and he aligned 10 points that we have to ponder on. And for the past, we have had support from different scholars, different universities, different, but some of our leaders don't take it serious. And at some point, we tend to ask ourselves, what are they? Are we in a revolution? When we have advice from revolutionaries like PLO Limumba, we don't take it serious. The same happened with Comrade Malema in South Africa. I want to point out this some of these points that PLO Limumba made. Number one, have we identified our enemy? I think we all know our enemy, La République and France. Okay, but there are some, La République being our enemy, we have some enemies in the house called Black Leg that we have to also identify. We cannot forget the enemy within. We focus on the enemy without. Those people who are not ready for the struggle should stay aside. There are many people who thought that this struggle would take 2 years, 3 years, but now it's the 7th year. Some of them are tired. I know there is financial strain on some people, but you don't have to stay there and be disturbing or distracting people who are trying to focus. You are there helping the Black Legs to do the job for them, helping Cameroon government to do the job for them. Those people who are not ready to see the end of the struggle, or who think that without them nothing will move, they are doing the job of the Black Legs. Because I don't see a reason why you'd be there condemning your own brother with whom you're fighting for the same struggle. You are condemning them. Okay? The number 2 point he made, he said, are we organized against our enemies? The organization is just what I made mention in the first point. After identifying how are we organized, when we see leaders having conferences, having meetings, coming together, they say they are the one unity, they want this. But if you don't have an organized structure where you have a unified voice, is that going to work? No. Organization is what we are trying to do in this struggle, where we have counties, LGAs, we have groups that can come together and have a unified message. Okay, most people in the international community have asked Ambazonians to have a unified message. I think by now they must understand why they are asking for a unified message. The third point he made is having organized against our enemy. Have we marshaled our resources such that our resources are directed in a direction of on ensuring that we achieve? So those resources that we're talking about, at the start of the struggle, we had a lot of money. But when people don't understand that when people give you money and you mishandle it, it's very difficult for them to give you more money. Okay? And most of our leaders thought that the money that they had before, it will keep coming like that. Yeah. It is when we realize that most of the first presidents, like Siseko and Sako, they had salaries. They were being paid. Okay? And when you collect salary, yes, we understand it's a very difficult job. We understand what they were doing was good. But at some point, you can ask yourself, is this thing gonna work like this? For how many years do you want to be paid a salary? And what are the boys in the ground? What do they need that we can help them to have for continuity of the? So resources are limited at this point in time. Most groups that wanted to say if it's not them, nothing will move, have realized that that is a failed process. You cannot be the one to claim that you are the best or you are the first, and without you nothing can move. You don't want to collaborate. That is what is failing some of them. And Ambazonian people are taking note of this type of leaders who want to be the only one to talk, or the only one, they want to claim ownership of Ambazonia. It doesn't work like that. The people have the power to decide, not you. Okay. The fourth point, have we identified our goal? Our goal, look at what is happening now. We want independence. The international community is coming now to give some suggestions. Okay. They are trying to express some intent that this is what can work for us after 7 years of fighting. Some people say, no, we don't want referendum. Referendum is this. Oh, they will not respect resolution 1608. They will not. People, they haven't even sat and tried to go through the meeting that happened in Washington D.C. with some other leaders. You sit somewhere, just criticize. If you don't want referendum, you don't want to go to negotiation, you don't want to go to any called, so you just want to be fighting. For how long are we going to be fighting? And you are still crying that the international community does not want to come. You don't have a goal. What is your goal? Your goal is just to fight. What is the way forward? What is the way out of this crisis? We should start asking ourselves those questions. The fifth point Professor Limumba made is that, have we, in the nature of things, recruited our people so that our people are fighting with us in the same direction? That is a very important point. The people that we are having in the team and groups should be people who have the same idea. That's why I used to say that if you are a federalist, you don't even need to be talking that you are fighting for Ambazonia, because most federalists, the goal is to slow the struggle. The federalists don't have any goal to push this struggle forward. Their goal is that when we fight, they come and say they are federalists. We fight for 2 years, 3 years. They come and say, oh, we the federalists, we want federation. But they are not fighting. They are not putting any resources. They don't have any goal to fight the regime. Their only goal is to fight the people they call separatists, or the people we understand as independentists. Okay. We are restorationists. We want to restore what we know is ours. We're not asking anybody for restoration. The federalists are busy begging for federation, and they are not fighting for it. They are begging. How can you be begging for what belongs to you? 64 countries voted for our independence. It's not something that somebody can take it back. America voted. 64 countries. So you think those countries voted for nothing? No. That's why we have the right to restore what was voted. Yes, that's why they can call whatever name they want. That's their problem. We know we are restorationists. We are restorationists. The sixth point he made is, do we speak with one voice? This is something that when President Chris Ano rallied the leaders and asked for a conference, some other leaders decided to go and do their own conferences. They think that something that is not initiated by them must not work. And that is the problem in this struggle. Why why must it be you who initiated something before you attend? Must it be you? If you have the struggle at heart, you have the Ambazonian people at heart, whether be it you or whoever organizes a conference, you have to attend. So far as is one of those leaders you identified as leaders who are fighting for the struggle, or even send a representative. If you don't want to attend, but these are the things we have been facing in this struggle, where some people will make it a way that if it's not them, that thing will not work. If they are not the one that initiated, and the problem has been for that is one reason why the struggle slows, because when the Biya regime realized that when they try to separate us, they can pass through some leaders to try to do one or two things with them, but unity of purpose, one voice, one mission, one goal is what we are talking about. The PLO Limumba, the 7 point he made, have we subordinated our personal interest to the larger interest of the people? That is what we are talking here. Leaders are answerable to the people, not to any other person. Surrogates, supporters, sympathizers, anything you're doing, if it's for an individual, you have failed with your own mission by your own self. Please support the struggle, have the whole mission at heart. Okay, don't be being a surrogate, a blind, what we call blind surrogacy, where you are being blind of what you're supposed to do for the struggle to make the struggle work. Then you rally behind one person, and the person, any direction the person takes you, you follow. Whereas you don't have your own judgmental to figure out what is good and what is not good for the struggle. The number 8 point PLO Limumba made: how are we using the human resources that we have, based on the side of Ambazonia or outside Ambazonia, based inside Ambazonia or outside? Human resources. Okay, that is what I'm saying here. Some of the leaders think that being a leader means that you are too knowledgeable to everything. No president, no leader, no chairman, nobody is knowledgeable to everything. That is why presidents will have special advisors, technical advisors, all kinds of advisors. Then they select the best human resources ever. That is what makes a good governance. Good governance is not to pick your friends, your brothers, your sisters, and put them in cabinet and they are failing. We want leaders that are looking at the best minds. That is why we say, if there is a negotiation process today, the leaders are not the one to go to negotiate. They will pick the best minds, the best people that they can think of, who are the experts in that field. If we want to talk about negotiation or want to talk about the economy of Ambazonia, we don't pick economists. We go and pick people who don't know about economy. That is a recipe for failure. We need experts in each domain. If we want to talk about oil today, we don't pick people who have been dealing with in this field, who are expert in oil business. We go and sign any kind of negotiation. That will be a recipe for failure. So whatever the case, we want expert, because this expert will, even if we have negotiation or referendum or whatever, we need expert, because La Republique might go and do things that are not in our own interests before they leave Ambazonia. So now we are being occupied, but we need experts so that they can handle these things in an expertise way. Okay, the 9 point of Professor Limumba is: are we faithful our people so that we account to the resources that they give us on a daily. This is what we talk about. Most people, Sako and his cabinet, they were being not accountable. That is why we the Restoration Council impeached Sako. A lot of misappropriation, a lot of mismanagement, a lot of issues that were not going well within the cabinet of Sako. So these are the things we're talking about. We must be accountable to our people. If you are not accountable, how do you want the trust of your people? That is a question. Another point, the 10th and the last point that Professor Limumba made was, have we persuaded the rest of Africa that we have a genuine and a legitimate cause that we deserve to be supported? And we have seen this all along. We understand there's a lot of diplomatic strife going on, and I think the way Africa Union behave, or they do business, because France has a lot of force majeure, as they call it, a lot of influence over the leadership of African Union. It is, we don't expect African Union to come to our support to do whatever. We know that through America, through international community, through the United Nations, African Union will succumb, because once the international union has spoken, the power of the international community is more powerful than African Union. So we are still working to have their support. We are working to have some discussions with them, but that will not stop us from keep going to the international community, working in all diplomatic way to see that we have that goal made, because we all know we are in a kind of Njumba married now, and we have a kind of irreconcilable differences with La Republique, and with the 1608 resolutions and those articles, articles of union and so on. We have our modalities set. We were working in consultation with other. We are working in to make sure that the crisis ends, and we are trying to make sure that we have a unilateral messaging to the international community. And if we have something like a referendum, instead of some of our other leaders to come and join heads together and see what if, because the question is what if. That is what most Ambazonians want. What will you do? You have to listen to the people. If most Ambazonians say, please, we prefer to end this crisis through referendum, we want to just make our voices heard, we want to vote, what will you do? Are you going to refuse? No. So that is a very important point, and I want to thank you all for listening. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be bringing more content as we move forward in the struggle.